a wave of fatigue wash over him, so he closed his eyes and fell into slumber. The next morning, Richard led his troops and set off to continue their journey. He found traces of the Bear Guard Knights in the marked areas, but he wasn't in a hurry to go north. Several kilometers east was a supply camp of the Golden War flag. Richard handed a few letters to the person in charge of the camp, asking for a caravan to bring them back to Bluewater Oasis. One of the letters was written to Marvine, requesting him to urge the churches on the border of the Sequoia Kingdom to send troops into the blood-stained lands to suppress the foreign invaders. The rest of the letters were written to the agents of the forces he was familiar with in Bluewater, including Devon and Damon. He mentioned that he found traces of invaders in the middle north of the blood-stained lands, and that these violent and diabolical intruders were heading south. It was possible they would rush all the way to Bluewater, so he wanted these old friends to step up their preventive measures to avoid losses. He also described in detail some of the distinctive traits of the Bear Guard Knights. He believed the news would spread quickly once his recipients read their letters. Then, the Bear Guard Knights wouldn't just be facing scattered resistance and hurried attacks, but elite troops and well-trained warriors. The gazes of the powerhouses of this plain would be drawn to them, having them overlook a small and weak invading army like Richard's. As for Baron Forza, people like him would just think they became a meal in the belly of a magical beast if he didn't show himself for a while. After all, the oracle from the god of valor only assessed them to be an insignificant force. It wasn't even worth dispatching the Central Church's forces to deal with someone of such capability. The only thing Richard needed at the moment was time. At the blood-stained lands, the two troops from Norland practically brushed past each other before they slowly grew further apart. Failure had endured invasions from many foreign plains, but peace would eventually be restored every time. The two recent invasions weren't significant when compared to the threats of the past, only a small ripple in the long river of history. The only thing that mattered was that the plain would survive. As for the future, nobody would be able to tell. However, a primary plain like Norland was never peaceful. The night view of Faust was as beautiful as ever, but Gittens' mood was nowhere close. Accompanied by two rune knights, he haughtily made his way